Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Lauren and this is my allotment YouTube. And I think this might be episode 7 or 8. I've got a feeling it's number 8 of Teabreak Tuesday. So if you haven't already, grab yourself a drink, settle down, and we're going to discuss all things allotment and growing your own. So this morning I've been down to the plot already with the intention of harvesting my garlic. You may be able to tell by the appearance and the crazy hair, it is hot here in the UK at the minute, which obviously we can't do anything but discuss the weather, complain about the weather, etc. But I am pleased. I'm always happier when it's sunny and it's warm, but my hair is just not, and I can't stand wearing any makeup, so you just have to deal with the way I look today. But yeah, so I went down this morning, harvested my first bulb of garlic, and it looked like this. So I'll include pictures along the way. And basically the outer skin layer hadn't formed, but the individual cloves were there. So can I use that? Is it okay? I don't know. I will give it a Google to find out. But yeah, that was odd. Then the second bulb that I pulled up, the individual cloves hadn't formed. So what's the cause of that? Is it inconsistent watering? Is it just not ready yet? I don't know. But obviously I'd pulled it up, so I've brought it home anyway. Can I use that? What do I do with it? I just don't know. I think I've got about 3 bulbs left in the ground, but I mean, they are tiny. So I've barely got a garlic harvest this year, if at all. But I'm pleased with it regardless. And that might sound strange, but garlic was the first thing that I got into the ground at my allotment. If you're new here, I took it over September last year, so about 9 months ago. It was completely overgrown. There was nothing good growing. So I literally had to start from scratch. So yeah, so given that situation, I'm glad that I managed to get some garlic in the ground, and they've grown. Whether they've grown right or wrong or whatever, I don't know, but they've grown. So that was a success to start with. Then I was just fighting off slugs at the allotment today. I've taken to scooping them up in a plant pot and flinging them over the fence, which is cruel, but I think I need to do something else to get them under control because it really is crazy. Oh, I'll tell you a story in a second. But I think I need to encourage more birds onto my plot. I have got a bird feeder up already, but I don't think there's anything left in there. So I'm going to do bird box, bird feeders, bit of water possibly. We're not allowed ponds at our plot, but I'll be able to get like a dish of some sort to put a bit of water, obviously pebbles so nothing can drown in there, etc. But yeah, just really try and encourage those birds onto the plot because there are birds around, but you know, we need robins and whatever else to eat the slugs. However, I went down to the plot last night. So we'd had a really horrendous thunderstorm last night. Really heavy downpour, winds, everything in the garden was sort of flapping around. So I thought, right, that's our 3rd thunderstorm that we've had now, including high winds. So I need to get down and I need to just check on the polytunnel, check that it's still okay. I'm still scarred from that first polytunnel. So yeah, once the storm was over, I went down to check on it and it was all fine, thank goodness. But there were, and I didn't know this beforehand, but I've done some Googling since, there were 4 slugs eating a worm. It was revolting. It actually was disgusting. It made me feel ill. It was vile. So the slugs were eating this worm, but they were literally like sucking on it. So the worm was like almost like pulsating. Oh, it was gross. It really was gross. Apologies if you're eating. But it was disgusting. But I was like morbidly fascinated by it. I was like, that is gross. But yes, I didn't know that slugs will literally eat anything, literally anything. So not only do they eat your plants, obviously they eat decaying plants, which is fine. But yeah, they're also carnivores and they will eat animals, which is gross. But yeah, it was really quite gross. And one of the slugs had like taken part of the worm away. It really was rancid. It's actually turning my stomach just thinking about it now. So yeah, that was disgusting. My peas that I brought from the garden centre a few weeks ago, they're now non-existent. They've been completely munched. So yeah, I need to get these slugs under control now. I am actually considering a beer trap or a couple, because they are absolutely horrendous. I caught another massive slug from the polytunnel this morning when I went to open it up. They've absolutely savaged my pepper plant. Yeah, and they're just savaging everything. So I need to do something about them. So aside from, I won't use slug pellets. I just won't. I just can't. I won't. So, but yeah, so I need to just protect everything else as much as I can to just try and get these slugs under control. Obviously they're worse at the minute, I believe, because we've had so much rain, and they're worse when there's rain, I believe. But yeah, so I need to get those under control because I've got no peas now, literally not a single plant, and there's not a single leaf on any of them. And then, but I did plant some beetroot. I think it was beetroot. I planted like radish, beetroot, and something else. Can't remember what the third thing was. At the end of my bed, at the front of the plot, and one of those is coming up now, which I think is beetroot by the looks of it. But I really need to thin it out because it's literally all germinated, so it's so compacted together. So I'll thin that out at some point. The weeds are back with a vengeance, which I expected because of the rain that we've had, but that's fine. I'll just go and do my 10 minutes of weeding. I didn't do it this morning because I was pushed for time, but I'll head back tonight to close the polytunnel at some point, and I'll weed it then. That's fine. My broccoli, was it broccoli or cauliflower? I think cabbage. What it was now. One of the brassicas that are at the front of the plot. I have got a label in it, I just can't remember what it was. That's doing really well anyway. It's netted over, and that's doing really well, so whatever it is. And yeah, everything else is looking okay. My tomatoes are looking good. I've pinched out the suckers this morning because a few of them had quite a few on there. Getting lots of flowers on them now, so that's all positive. What else? The onions, I think they're looking okay. I think they're growing. They've obviously had a lot of rain the last few days, so hopefully that'll give them a little boost. I don't know how long they need to be in the ground for, and I can't remember what date I planted them, but I will look back and see when I planted them. I need to start keeping a proper journal. Somebody had suggested it to me on YouTube, oh, do you keep a journal because you'll be able to look back? And I was like, oh no, like I use YouTube for my journal, which it genuinely is what I use YouTube for. Every time I plant something, that sort of thing, I can refer back to it on my YouTube, but I'm finding that that's quite difficult now that I've got more videos. I'm trying to pick out the ones to watch them specifically for when I planted something, so I'm finding that quite tricky. So I'm gonna start making a note of everything, even if I go back and just flick through my videos and just make a note into my journal now to catch up. I think that'll be easier to refer back to. But yeah, so I think my onions are looking okay. I don't know how long they need to be in the ground for. Again, I can Google that and have a look. My potatoes, some of the leaves are dying back. And I don't know if that's because of the intense heat that we've had, or if they're just ready for picking now, because I know when you harvest potatoes, it's when I thought the flowers died back, but I haven't got any flowers on them. Bit worried as to why, particularly if the leaves are already dying back. So yeah, I need to give that a bit of a Google as well, or if you guys know, I'm sure somebody will. But yeah, so are my potatoes ready? Are they not ready? I thought they still had another few weeks that they would be in the ground, but who knows. I did sow carrots and things like that in the ground. I didn't see any signs of germination today, but we will see. Salad isn't germinating by the looks of it. It's been in for probably just over 2 weeks now, and I didn't see any signs of any lettuce or anything germinating, but I have heard from other people that has been difficult this year, so it's not the end of the world. I've just given everything a try, that's all you can do, isn't it? My strawberries are looking great. I've got another few that are ripening. Obviously I bought those from the garden centre this year. And then my fruit bushes, they're just still tiny, basically. I really don't think I'm going to get any fruit off of them this year. But yeah, they are tiny. So hopefully it'll be one for next year. I did have somebody from my allotment site offer a blackberry. Yeah, it was, I think, or blackcurrant. Oh gosh, I can't remember now. It was blackberry or blackcurrant. I'm sure it was blackcurrant. I can't remember. Bush. And I just said, yeah, I'll have it. I think it was £3 or something like that, which is fine. So yeah, I'm going to have that off her, probably go and grab it tonight because she's usually down there when I'm watering. But yeah, so that's another one. It looks more established than what my plants are, so I'll get that in the ground. The rhubarb is actually doing okay. It's bushing out quite well now. I think the watering has helped and I've given it a good feed. Again, it's been munched by slugs, but it is what it is. And I do have the intention that I'm just going to leave it this year. I don't think I'm going to harvest my rhubarb. I split it this year. It got really big for the pot that it was in. And last year when I had it at home in the garden in the pot, it really struggled. I think it was just too big. So this year I think I'm going to give it a rest after, because I've split it. And then hopefully next year I'll have a bumper crop and it'll be amazing, and I'll have too much rhubarb and I won't even know what to do with it. But yeah, so it's all okay at the plot. It's okay. I'm definitely not where I want to be, and I'm not going to be getting like gluts of harvests or anything like that, I don't think. But it's okay. It's my first year. But next year I'm definitely going to sow like crazy, slug repellent like crazy, and just get everything into the ground because I just want a really abundant allotment plot. And yeah, it's just not happened this year. The weather has not been on our side, and neither have the slugs. But yeah, so I think I'm going to leave that one there for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, just a little natter again. But yeah, do let me know if you've got any advice or any tips on the garlic or anything like that. Do let me know. Any other ideas for slug repellent? I have got some copper tape down at the plot. So I think I'm going to try and get something to go round my pepper plants. Somebody did suggest putting a plastic bottle over the top of them, and I think they are still small enough for me to do that. So put a big plastic bottle over the top of them, and then I could maybe put some tape around the bottle to stop the slugs climbing up and inside. I'm going to do slug traps. I'm going to do everything that I can without using slug pellets because I really don't want to use them. But yeah, everything that I can to try and get these slugs to leave my stuff alone. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching. As I said, any comments, please do leave them down below. I love reading them, even if I don't get back to you immediately. I have read your comments usually, and it's just that I need to sit down and respond to them all. But I do take everybody's advice on board, really appreciate it. One big shout out actually that I want to do is Ali at My Rusty Garden. She's a fantastic YouTuber. She puts so much information into her content, and she always watches my videos and comes back with comments and encouragement. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Ali, because your knowledge is just incredible. And yeah, like everybody else's is, I always really take it on board and it is really useful. So yeah, thank you. But yeah, so I'm going to leave that one there for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Hope you have a good week of growing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.